Welcome back everyone to Cook It Simple with Eric. Today we are going to make a gluten-free banana bread out of Krusteaz Gluten Free all-purpose flour. Now this recipe, you can make this out of just a regular wheat flour just fine, and you really wouldn't tell a difference. I have a family member who is gluten intolerant, so a lot of things I make or bake, cook, oven's preheated, will be gluten free. I've just learned to cook that way. And really, you can't tell that it is gluten free. So the first thing I did was preheat the oven to 350 degrees. I then took my cast iron loaf pan, pre-buttered it. I have that set off to the back here. So now our ingredients, what we're going to use, I use a half a cup of butter. I do put it in the microwave and kind of melt it down a little bit because I think it will mix better with our 3/4 cup of brown sugar. So we'll mix these first. We will have 2 eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla, 1 tablespoon of raw sugar, which I like to use, 1 teaspoon baking soda, 2 very ripe bananas, 1½ cups gluten-free flour, and ½ cup of sour cream. So the first thing we're going to do is get everything mixed in to a batter. So the first thing we want to do is take our 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Then we want to incorporate our ½ cup of melted butter or softened, whichever you choose. And again, there's my favorite tool in the kitchen is my spatula. Put that over there. So we just need to get this incorporated. And mash it in. Get all the lumps and the chunks out. You can use a whisk or anything you want on this. I just do this real quick. This is all we have to do is get to this point. So you'll see how it's a nice little batter right there. So the next thing we want to do is I'm going to push this off to the side. Then this little container, I'm going to go ahead and crack our 2 eggs. Put my thumb through it. Just kind of whip those up a little bit. So we're going to do our 2 eggs. We're going to do the 2 teaspoons of vanilla. You can use other things. Some people put like brandy in it. It's whatever you choose. I'm just going with vanilla. Mix that in, incorporate just a little bit more. Get that done up there. So once I have that in, then I'm going to go ahead and put the sour cream in that too. So what you want is a ½ cup. And as always, I like to make a mess in the kitchen, so I'm just going to put a ½ cup, which is just a couple of big spoons, maybe just a little bit more. So that should get us on the sour cream. Just incorporate that in. Good enough. Looks a little weird, but it works. All right, so the next thing, we'll just set this off to the side. Clean up my mess here. So let's pull in our 1½ cups of flour right there. And here I'm just going to pour in the sugar and the 1 teaspoon of baking soda. I'm just going to incorporate it. Just get it all mixed up in there. Just like so. So we're going to leave it right like that. Alright, so the next thing we want to do is take our 2 bananas. We'll set that off to the side so we can get back to this. We'll take our 2 bananas, break them open, and they are ripe. That's really ripe, so we don't want that part. Just open up your bananas like so. Pop them in there. Take our fork that we just had, just kind of mash them in. I like mine a little chunkier. I think it just gives it a little bit better moisture in the bread, a little creaminess, I guess. Alright, that's about how I like to do it. Now, we'll go ahead and add in our wet mix of our egg, sour cream, and vanilla. Get that incorporated in there. Now for this, I'm just going to go back to a spatula. You can use a blender, but you really don't have to. You can use a stand mixer if you want. You really don't have to. Just incorporate all that in. I have a KitchenAid stand mixer that I love using, but I use it for bigger batches of things. There, just call that good. So now what we're going to do next is just take our flour ingredients, just put a little bit in, just let it work together. This way now we're going to start forming our final batter here. Mix it in, fold it in. You don't want to overwork the flour though. When it looks like it's mixed in, let's throw the rest of it in there. Let's mix it in. We've got Stuart staring at me. He's not quite sure what's going on. Hey buddy. So fold that in. Once you see the flour's pretty much disappeared, then it is ready. And there's our batter. It is ready. So let's go ahead and grab the container. Grab our cast iron loaf pan. Just pour the batter in it. It's already, like I said, I've already pre-buttered. I like to use butter. You can use non-stick shortening, the spray, and whatever your preference is. I am making a huge mess. There we go. Yeah, definitely made a huge mess, but let's flatten her all out there. Get that off the sides. Make sure you get it all in there. And that is what you need to see. right there. Good, perfect every time. All right, let's get it in the oven. All right, in we go. Now we'll have this in the oven for about probably 55 minutes. Okay, we've got about 20 minutes left. Let's take a peek at it real quick and see. Oh yeah, looks like everything is looking beautiful, a little toasty on top. It's rising beautifully, so we will set back, and about 20 minutes later, we'll check it again. And welcome back. It's been 50 minutes on the nose. Let's check it, see what we have. Ooh, look at that. That is beautiful. Exactly what we want. Good. All right, now just a quick check. We can do it simply with a toothpick, just like you do other breads, cakes, brownies, things like that. We'll simply poke it in. Comes out clean. We are good to go. All right, so the next thing you want to do is get that out of the pan onto a drying rack or something to set it on to dry. Do that. We'll revisit here in just a minute when we cut it open. All right, let's see what we have. Might still be a little warm, but look at that beautiful, beautiful banana bread. That's absolutely gorgeous. Let's give it a try. I always like to put a little butter on it, especially when it's fresh out of the oven. Let that just melt in there. All right. I also like the butt. That is perfect banana bread every time. You can add almonds, walnuts, any type of nut you like. You can add more bananas if you choose. This is just a recipe that I use. It works great every time. So again, thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Have a good day.